So STAR Academies is a growing multi-academy trust. We have 35 schools currently based across the country, from Waltham Forest up to Morecambe in Lancashire, so we're very widely spread. We do have clusters within our spread across the country. We've currently, I think it's 24 secondary schools and 11 primary schools, and they are a mixture of free schools which have got Muslim faith attachment to them, and we also have 8 secondary sponsored academies, and I think it's 5 primary sponsored academies. And obviously we are continuing to grow. I myself, Nikki, I have been a science teacher for, I think it's 22 years now. It's a lifetime, isn't it? It just becomes part of a lifestyle. It's not a job. I've had various roles across education, so from teaching in the classroom to senior leaders, local authority, and I've worked for STAR Academies for 5 years now as their subject improvement for science, and I'm also an Ofsted inspector, just recently appointed to the dark side, so I've got that hat as well.
Brilliant. Thank you for that comprehensive overview, and great to talk to your fellow science enthusiast, and to hear about your experiences with Ofsted, which would probably be a whole nother call on another day, but that's brilliant. Thank you so much. And so in terms of STAR Academies, where are you in terms of sort of moving to digital tools for teaching and learning?
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of what we all talk about COVID, and it's still there, I think we learned an awful lot during COVID because we were the national helpline for the country. So we had to embrace the digital kind of era very quickly for teaching and learning and so on. So we've embraced it quite well, I think. At the heart of everything we do, we want to deliver high quality teaching and learning. So, you know, whatever the resources, if it enables our teachers to do that, then we will absolutely, you know, we'll go for it and trial it and see if it works for us. In terms of where we are currently, we use ActiveLearn. So all of our secondary teachers who are following, we've only got, I think, 2 schools that are AQA, the rest are now EdExcel. Everybody uses ActiveLearn. And, you know, I walk into classrooms and I see them using the interactive resources and teaching from the book and so on. So in terms of teaching, our teachers are very, very quick to pick up the digital resources that are out there, and they really like the new stuff. Everyone wants to try new stuff. The kids absolutely love it. And in terms of the children, I think we're in a place now where children want instant access. So if they want to know something, they Google it and they get the answer there and then. In terms of their learning and their assessment, they also want to know, what have I done right? What have I done wrong? And they want it instantly. And they complain to teachers that, you know, why is it taking you 24 hours to turn around my test? I want to know where I am right now. So that, you know, in terms of digital era, I think we're kind of well within it, but we're always open to new resources that help us and help the staff and children.
Brilliant, thank you. Yeah, that's so true about that kind of instant feedback and just wanting, you know, and that's the world that we live in, that we get sort of information so quickly now, don't we? Brilliant. And so you've just signed up for ActiveHub at STAR Academies, which is great news. And I just wondered if you could let me know, you know, what made you think it would bring benefits to your school and what you think those are.
Yeah. You know, we had a kind of off the record kind of chat a minute ago, and I cannot kind of express how brilliant this system is going to be for our teachers at the minute. And I'm sure, you know, as you guys are aware, teachers, particularly science teachers, are in incredibly short supply. I want to retain teachers in my schools, and I want to also encourage teachers to join our schools. The biggest issue, as we know, is workload, and looking at what ActiveHub gives us is instant feedback to children. It's granular level detail about where children are in terms of their progress, their gaps and so on. So for us, you know, being able to see, you know, the minutiae of where the children are, that's fundamental in moving these kids on. But also workload, this self-marks assessments, it gives teachers a whole range of resources to be able to access. It really is quite phenomenal. Being able to compare children and not have to, you know, wade through spreadsheets and question level analysis. It's in one place, and at the minute we do it well, but things are in different, it's quite, they've got to access different systems to see the whole overview that ActiveLearn gives, or ActiveHub gives, sorry. And then for the pupils, you know, it's something new. It's something they can do when they're not in the classroom. Kids pick up new technology really quickly, and I think, you know, it's nice and shiny, and I think the kids will really kind of embrace it.
Great. And what I'm hearing you say actually is something else that we've been talking about a lot internally at Pearson, and that's about that kind of shift to having really rich data and how important data is in schools as opposed to just kind of teaching and learning resources. Brilliant. And so how are you finding ActiveHub so far at STAR Academies?
So we've only just started the trial. We've got 2 schools using it, and the feedback so far from from people just sort of looking online on the actual website and looking at the resources, they're kind of overwhelmed, I think, by like, wow, this does so much for me. It sets assessments. I can pick out, it's not just that the children can't do enzymes, it's the very specific parts. It might be data processing, whatever it might be. So it gives staff far more information, and I think they're quite excited by that. And again, it's that reduction in workload, not having to set and mark homework. Obviously they have to set the homework, but not having to mark it, and children getting that access straight away to the feedback that they need. So yeah, we are at the very early stages, and obviously I will feed back once we've got a bit more information, but so far there's a lot of excitement in the air, so that's good.
Great. That's exactly what we want to hear, and I'm so glad that it's going really well. And so you've alluded to some of these already, but what do you think are the sort of top couple of features that teachers are really valuing so far with their use?
At the minute, and I think due to all the COVID chaos that we still are in the throes of, a lot of focus has been just upon year 11 intervention and making sure those children are going to be able to access the exams as they come. I think with this, it gives us an intervention tool for every single year group. So this is not just, doing mock exams with year 11 and then looking at the gaps. This is saying, right, year 10s have had this homework. They're not doing great on this. We can see that. So for individual classroom teachers, that's really powerful, and just allows the teachers, because they're not marking the work, gives them more time to focus on sort of gaps, and developing students' knowledge more, I think. In terms of my role, it's quite easy for me to see that there's obviously, there's training needs. I can sort of look down at different levels in terms of the abilities of the students and say, well, actually this cohort of kids here should be doing far better. So I think the detail, the actual minutiae of the detail, it's fundamental, really. Far better than what we've got at the moment as a trust, and we see ourselves as being quite data rich, and knowledge component rich as well with our new, the way we've developed our curriculum. So yeah, it's really, I just can't wait to get it going, actually.
Amazing, brilliant, thank you so much. So it's so a real value is about the fact that you're all using the same platform to sort of have that data, and you can all dip in and out and see whatever level you need to. Brilliant, thank you. So how do you see ActiveHub contributing to the sort of wider digital strategy at STAR?
Yeah, I mean, as I said, we've got a lot of different systems in place at the moment. So we've got our data systems, we've got our QLAs going on, and so on. And I think kind of bringing it all together just makes it far easier for me personally, from top level down, looking at individual schools and cohorts of kids and abilities of children. I can sort of map out it. Basically, it's going to allow me to do my job a lot more efficiently, because I can identify training needs of our staff. I can do online masterclasses for children that are, they're struggling with whatever aspect it might be. So it kind of just sums everything together. I think from a school perspective, again, it's that workload. It's giving time back for teachers. It's giving them the very specific individualised needs of their groups of children, their classes. And for the pupils, it's that world of, I want it now, instant. They want to know where they're at. They want to know what they need to do. And I think we'll get buy-in from a lot of those more hard to reach children. The quiet ones that sit there and they do all right, but they're not on our radar. I think every child becomes part of that radar now, and we'll see the kind of bigger picture, really. So
that's brilliant. I'm so glad to hear that it's going really well and that you're really seeing the value. It's it's brilliant to know that all the sort of hard work and planning that we've put in, and really speaking to people like yourselves. I know STAR have been with us on this journey since the start of developing ActiveHub, so thank you for that. I really appreciate it, and we will continue on this journey. I'm going to wrap up really, but if you were speaking to another school or academy and they asked you about ActiveHub, what would you say were the sort of best 3 things about it?
The time back for teachers. Time for them to put more emphasis onto their planning of learning and planning of individualized needs, taking away that marking element, the granular information on each pupil. There's so much you can gauge. It's not just a number from a test. This is like down to actual detail of knowledge gaps. And then for the pupils, that instant feedback, it's you know, it's what they expect now. Everything has to be like now. So yeah, it's very, you know, from what I've seen and the information you've given, it's very, very easy to use and access. So yeah, I take my hats off to you. You've done an amazing job. I'm really excited to see where this goes for Pearson itself, because I think, you know, when people see the benefit, it's going to fly as this one. It really is.
Brilliant. That's great. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you for your time, Nicky. And as ever, always brilliant to work with you. And we will stay in touch. Continue to let us know how you're getting on. Fab.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Thanks so much. And Happy New Year to you as well.